Right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now, what about over here? So, okay, so good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, get this over there on Facebook. Yeah, we're doing Bible study, you know what I'm saying, today. How y'all doing out there today? How y'all doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? This is the 37th episode, Bible study with KingCzol podcast. We are everywhere right now. We're on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Okay. Why? Because it's a Sabbath day and we're gonna keep it holy. That's why. Um, you know, let's see if anybody want to come up, y'all can. Everybody's welcome to come up. Okay. Mm, okay. All right. Let's see, copy this again. First gossip. Mhm. All right, we here. Should have put something else here. That's what I should have did. But you know what? I ain't gonna worry about it. Just getting everything organized real quick before I get into it. Let the people come in. Let people join us. Let's get to it. Right. Let's go back to continue. Let's go back to continue. Let's get to it. There we go. There we go. All right. That over here. There we go. Right. Okay. Let's put that over here for a second. The corner. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. here. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Let's begin it. Okay. All right. Again, this is Bible Study with KingCzol podcast, episode 37. Okay. Today we're going to talk about truth versus gossip. That's truth versus gossip. Let's first of all look what the truth is. Okay, that's the first thing. Let's look at what truth is. Okay. All right, let's look at what truth is. What is truth? Okay. What is truth? Truth by definition, okay, is the quality or state of being true. Okay. That is the oh that is the what am I doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? Okay. Well, all right, here we go. I'll put you on mute right there. All right, so this is Bible study. Okay. Today is truth versus gossip. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Truth versus gossip. All right. And truth is the quality or state of being true. That is truth. Um, so yeah. So that's the truth. Now, what is gossip? What is gossip? Gossip is, by definition, gossip is casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true. That is what gossip is, people. Okay? It's a rumor. It's things that are not true. Okay? And that's important to understand. So truth is something that can be verified. And gossip is something that can't be verified. It's a rumor. It's a speculation. Okay? So today's topics are going to be about the spirit of truth. Okay? The spirit of truth verse. Let's get this pulled up real quick. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me get that right to you. Hold on 1 second, y'all. There we go. All right. The spirit of truth, and then the dangers of gossip. That's the two subjects today we're going to talk about. As you see behind me, okay, you got people right here. Somebody's talking to somebody in the ear. Somebody else is you know what I'm saying, is hearing what they're saying. And that right there is a prime example of how gospel looks. Okay. Um, and gossip and truth, the truth of the gossip is not the same because one is real and one is not. So you gotta understand the differences between that. Now let's go into the actual thing. That's the topic of discussion is going to be truth versus gossip, right? And the spirit of truth is going to be first, and then second one is going to be the dangers of gossip. So let's start with the spirit of truth. We're going to do the passages of Exodus 20, chapter 20, verse 16, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22, Colossians chapter 3, verse 9, and Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. Okay. All right. That's the first thing we're gonna do here. Then we're gonna go to the dangers of gossip, which is gonna be Proverbs 16, chapter 16, verse 28, Proverbs 20, chapter 20, verse 19, and Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. And also James, the book of James, chapter 4, verse 11. Okay. All right. I'm still new to TikTok, people, ladies and gentlemen. So there's bear with me on this right here. I'm trying to, go the green screen. Actually, the green screen. Actually, I have a green screen behind me for another, for Zoom as well. If you want to get on to the live, you come in here or Zoom. All right. So the first we're gonna do, is gonna go. We're gonna start with the spirit of truth. Okay. Let's start there. Exodus 20. verse 16. Okay. All right. Exodus 20, verse 16. Okay. I guess the person tried to battle me, I guess. This is not a battle thing, whatever. It could be though, but we'll be battling. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's go to the story right here. Let's go to Exodus 20, verse 16. Okay. All right. It says here. Okay, so this is basically about the Ten Commandments. All right. And one of the Ten Commandments, right, which God gave mankind, okay, which is thou should not bear false witness against your neighbor. Okay. That's a commandment. So thou should not bear false witness, meaning thou should not lie on your neighbor. I think that's self-explanatory. I don't think it's really need too much, you know, I don't think that needs too much explanation. But that's important to understand what is, bear false witness. To bear false witness against somebody is to gossip against somebody, to lie on somebody, to speculate on somebody that something is not true or hasn't been proven. So if it hasn't been proven, you don't know for sure, but you think or you heard, that's gossip. And gossip is dangerous. For example, somebody could be saying this person over here stole your watch, your gold watch that your granddaddy gave you. And you have a couple of friends, you're all together, and somebody says that somebody stole their watch. Okay, or you stole their watch. And you didn't steal the watch, right? But because somebody said it might be you, the person that watch got stolen wants to come after you. Okay. Um, Hold on. All right. So what ended up happening is a lot of times bearing false witnessing on somebody can get somebody in trouble. It can get somebody fired from their job. It can get somebody killed. It can get somebody hurt. So bearing false witness against your neighbor is a sin. Okay. And that's the part where we're talking about today, the dangers of that. So that's the truth. To bear false witness against your neighbor is not the truth if it's false. So only the truth is the truth. Okay. The truth should set you free. Okay. And if it's not the truth, or if you don't know if it's the truth, you shouldn't say it. You ever heard that saying, if you have nothing good to say, don't say it? All right. I don't know if your mom told you that or not. She told me. But you shouldn't talk about people. You shouldn't do that, right? All right. So that's where that comes from the Ten Commandments. You should not bear false witness against your neighbor. Okay. I think that one's pretty much self-explanatory too, because you know you should know not to do that. A lot of people do it every day. They don't even know it. Some people don't understand what they're doing. Some people don't even consider that bear false witness against their neighbor when they lie on somebody or they speculate something or they gossip about something. You know. Um. So yeah. So that's important. Let's see here. If you want to come up to any questions, if you have any questions about what we're talking about today, just write down below, and I'll bring you in. Okay. So let's get to it. Here we go. The next one we're going to talk about today will be Proverbs 12:22. We're still talking about the spirit of truth. Okay. Proverbs 12:22. Okay. So let's go to Proverbs 12:22, right? Chapter 12:22. All right. All right, here we go. Proverbs 12:22. It says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. All right. Someone wants to come up? Okay, I'll invite them in here. All right. Again, let's talk about that. Okay, it says in here Proverbs 12, verse 22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Okay. By the way, we're reading from the New King James Version, so you know be easy to understand. It's in English. All right. So the truth God loves, but lies God don't love. So you're telling lies. If you're lying on the scriptures, if you're lying on other people, if you're lying on anything, God don't like it. Okay, it's abomination. Okay. But if you're telling the truth, then God, he's delighted. Okay, that's important to understand too. He's delighted at truth. It's abomination to lie. So you see how the spirit of truth, if you're being truthful about something, then there's nothing really to think about. Because if it's true, you got nothing to worry about. But if it's a lie, you do have something to worry about. Because you can get them by your lies. Right? All right. So that's important to understand. All right, let's go to the next one here. We're going to go to Colossians 3:9. Colossians chapter 3, verse 9. Okay. Colossians 3, verse 9. Let's go to it right here. Okay, it says here, do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man in his deeds. Okay. Or actually, let's go back to verse 8. It says, but now you yourselves are to put off all these things: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, who is renewed in knowledge according to the image of him who created him. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcised nor uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, nor free, but Christ is in all. In all. Okay? Christ is all in all. And in all. Okay? So with that being said, people, do not lie to one another. Okay? Put off your anger, your wrath, your malice, okay, your blasphemy, your filthy language out your mouth. Take it out. Try to remove that. I know it's hard. Hey, I sometimes I feel the same way. Sometimes I don't I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a preacher, by the way. Let's get that straight. But we're just doing Bible study today. That's what we're doing today, Bible study. So please understand that. I'm not that's not my calling to be a preacher. I'm just going to word because it's the Sabbath, and why not study and spread the word of God? You know? But we're reading from the scriptures. We're not going by just my opinion. We're going by what it says here. Okay. So it says, don't put off those things, and lying is one of them. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go here. All right. So that's Colossians 3, verse 9, ladies and gentlemen. Colossians 3, verse 9. All right, we're going to go to, let's see here. We're going to go to, let's see. Proverbs 18 to 21. We're still in the spirit of the truth right now, ladies and gentlemen. Proverbs 18, verse 21. Let's go here. Here we go. All right. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. Let me say that again. This is a big one right here. Okay. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. So, what you say out your mouth, there we go. What you say out your mouth matters. You know, so death and life in the power of your tongue. Your words can cause somebody to commit suicide. They can cause somebody to be harmed, killed, embarrassed, angry. They can cause them to sin, make them stumble. So things you say matter, okay? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. So if you're talking about death, if you're speaking death to somebody, then death should come. If you're speaking life, then life will come. You see what I'm saying? So your mouth is a dangerous weapon, or it's a blessing, depending on how you use it. Okay. And it's very important to understand that, because that's how we have a lot of problems in this world, because of the lies people tell, you know, or even the good things they tell. It can go either way. So the question is, which one you want to be? You want to tell the truth, or you want to tell a lie? That's the question you have to ask yourself, right? So yeah. Death and life is Proverbs 18, verse 21. Okay, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So your mouth has power to it. You know, the pen is mightier than the sword too, as well. Okay, so meaning you can write something down and it comes to life. Your dreams and goals can be written down. What you set your mouth can be spoken, and those things come. Let there be light, and there was light. When God spoke them words, stuff happened. So when you pray and you ask for things from God, He can give you those things. He will give you those things if He feels like give you those things. If you deserve to get those things, So, a lot of people don't understand the power of that. He already knows what you need before you ask anyway, so that's not even the point. But the point really is are you asking for something that you deserve, and it's something that makes sense? And if you are, chances are you'll get it. But if you don't get it, chances are you're not supposed to get it. Or maybe not supposed to get it at that time. Some things don't work on your time. They don't work on our time. It works on God's time. A lot of people think that just because you ask for something, it's supposed to work on your time. It was to happen immediately. It doesn't happen immediately always. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it depends on what you feel and what your heart is saying, what your mind is saying, because God knows what's in your heart. So He knows if you mean it or not. You're seriously about, you ask for forgiveness, you say you're gonna do it again. Will you not do it again? Or are you gonna do it again? So yeah. He knows if you're not really being truthful or honest. All right. So let's go into now. That right there was the spirit of truth. Those things we talked about just now were the truth. Okay. And this title was Truth versus Gossip. Okay. And we're talking about now the dangers of gossip now. We're gonna go into the dangers of gossip. Okay. For the dangers of gossip, we're gonna go to Proverbs 16, verse 28. So Proverbs chapter 16, verse 28. Okay. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Proverbs 16. Now is verse 28. Okay. Okay. It says here, a perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends. Okay. So a perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends. I can tell you plenty of stories about that. Okay. I can tell you plenty of stories about somebody who gossiped and lied on people, or you know what I mean, people who said things even about me, and it wasn't even true. So, but guess what? The truth is the truth, and the truth can't be a lie, and the lie can't be the truth. You see, there's no, you can't put those together. Is it true or is it not true, right? And that's important. Um, like and share this too. By the way, anybody who's here to watch, please like and share. We try to get this to everybody as possible, but this is important information here, right? All right. So again, a perverse man sows strife. That means a perverse man, a man that's not, right in the mind, right in the head, a perverse person. Okay. Perverse comes from the word pervert, but perverted. So that's what perverse is. It's a mindset. It's a, you know, yeah. So perverse person. Okay, perverse man sows strife. So that means he makes problems. A person who's not right mentally starts problems. You know, he makes problems. He causes strife. He causes pain. He causes hurt. He causes confusion. You see what I'm saying? He causes, and that's like the devil. The devil can use people as well as Satan and his other demonic forms to do things to help hurt other people. So we gotta keep that in mind, people. We must keep that in mind. Um, and again, it says, and the whisperer separates best of friends. So somebody talking about saying your best friend said something to them that's not true, right? But you don't know it's not true because you think because you got it from the friend that it's true. When it was just really said because they were mad about something else and they wanted to basically break you guys up being friends. So they came to you and said, "Oh, your friend talked about you, or your homegirl, she was doing this behind your back. She stole the money out your wallet. Yeah, she the one that took your phone. Or he was the one that what I'm saying, got you from school. He told the principal. You see what I'm saying? Those things, okay? A whisperer separates the best of friends. You gotta be careful who your friends are. You gotta be careful where you get information from. Just because it seems like it's true and good information does not mean it's good information. A lot of times, you actually might be dealing with somebody or something, right? And that can cause problems, you know? Yeah, that can cause problems. Okay. Let's go to the next one, right? Here we go. We're gonna go to Proverbs 20:19. That's Proverbs chapter 20, verse 19. Okay. Let's go to that. Proverbs 20. All right, let's get to it. Yeah, like, share, and comment, ladies and gentlemen, in chat. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna go to 19. Okay, he who goes about as a tale bearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. Okay, let's break that down a little further. It says here, he who goes about as a tale bearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. You understand what that means? Okay. Do not associate with somebody who's always talking about people. It's always running his mouth. Because they're running mouth about other people, chances are they're running mouth about you. Okay. And I've seen it happen a lot of times. You would think, oh, this person told me this information, but you got to just ask yourself, wait a minute. So they told me the information. What information is tell another person? If you told me where the other person's, lives at, or what they did and this and that, and what they didn't do and what they ain't got and what are you saying it to them? You can talk to the enemies. You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference right there, Yeah, you could be talking to the enemies. So you gotta be careful who who you're talking to, because they say keep your friends close, enemies closer. Well, that's probably a prime example, because even your friends could be enemies. You don't even know it. They could be talking about you. They could be whispering about you and spreading lies about you and whatever else it might be. Okay, trying to set you up. All kinds of things can happen because you thought that you could trust somebody. Okay, the Bible says trust no man but God. Um, and that's true, because man can't be trusted. Mankind can be trusted. That's man or woman can be trusted. So, with that being said, yeah, be careful who you get information from. Who's the person running around telling secrets to everybody else? Because chances are they talking about you too and telling secrets about you, or telling things you told them, or making up stuff about you too as well. Okay, be careful about that. All right, let me read that again. That's Proverbs 20 verse 19. Okay. He who goes out as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with one who flatters his lips. Okay? Flatters with his lips. All right. Let's go into that's the danger of the gospel right there. Be careful who you listen to. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Ephesians 4:29. It's Ephesians 4:29. Okay? Right? Ephesians 4:29. Okay. It says here. Okay, wait. Let's start at 25. Let's go 25 and go down to 29. Okay. All right. It says, therefore, put away lying. Let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be angry and do not sin. Okay. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor, working with his hands what is good, that he may have something to give him who has need. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification. Okay? That it may impart grace to the hearers. So make sure what you're saying at your mouth is something good. Okay, so that it may, impart grace to the hearers. People listen to you. You can help others with what you're saying out your mouth. What's going on with you, man? I was just reading the Bible. You read the Bible? Hello? What's going on, man? Malane, do you read the Bible? I'm doing Bible study. The Bible, you know? Do you read that? Okay. I don't know what he's okay. He left. I guess he went to battle again. Why is he going to battle? Okay, all right, cool. You know what? All right. Let me not let me not do that. All right. Back what we were saying, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, so again, it says here, therefore put away lying. Let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Okay, so we are all part of each other. We all family at the end of the day. We all human beings. Um, so speak the truth with your neighbor. No, don't lie to him. Be angry but do not sin. Do not let your the sun go down on your wrath. Do not be mad before the sun goes down. Okay, do not hold on to grudges and anger about somebody else before the sun goes down, right? Let that go. Nor give place to the devil. Okay? Don't give place to the devil. Okay? Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor. So instead of somebody stealing, you know, give them work. Because they're stealing, that means they need money. If you can give them work, then give them work so they can make money. Okay? Working with his hands, what is good, that he may have something to give to who has need. So to help somebody else, they can help somebody else. Okay, each one teach one. You know what I mean? Like Jesus said in the Bible, if you give a man a fish, he eat for the day. But if you teach him how to fish, if you teach him how to fish, he eat for a lifetime. That's very important in the world, right there, right? Because we have people that not everybody gonna teach you how to fish, right? Okay, that's important. Okay, cool. But yeah, it also says here, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. So speak good, speak positive, so that you can give positivity, inspire positivity, or help other people with positive thoughts. Okay, about you, because if you're a person that just talk about somebody incorruptly, he's talking about everything, and you're not helping nobody. So you're not helping yourself. But more importantly, you're not helping nobody else either. So be careful of what you say. You know. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, we're gonna go to James 4:11. James 4:11, ladies and gentlemen. James 4:11. Okay. It says, all right. Not to judge people. This is a part of gossip right here. Chapter 4, verse 11. Do not speak evil to one another, brethren. He who speaks evil of a brother and judges his brother speaks evil of the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. Who are you to judge another? Okay? Who are you? So to judge somebody, talk about somebody, to make accusation about somebody, who are you? You know, when that lady who committed adultery was going to get stoned in the Old Testament, or not Old Testament, New Testament, and they came to Jesus and said, you know, look, this lady has been proven to be adulteress. We have caught her red-handed committing adultery on her husband. She is married. She is up here having sex with other men. Jesus ignored them when they were talking. He ignored them. And they were like, you didn't hear what I said? What should we do? Should we stone her? They wanted him to say the stoner. That's what they wanted. They wanted to stone her because she committed adultery. And Jesus was writing on it in the sand. Okay? And after about maybe a little bit, he stood up. He looked at the people and he said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. He who is without sin cast the first stone. All right. Is anybody without sin? No. Everybody sins. Okay? Nobody I know in this world haven't sinned. But he who was without sin cast the first stone. Then he went back down and started drawing the sand again. And they thought about it for a second. They said, wait a minute. So you telling me he ain't say not to do it. He ain't say not to do it. Because the law states if you commit adultery, you'd be stoned to death back then. Okay? And many people got stoned to death. But he said to them, he who was without sin cast the first stone. So he didn't tell him not to do it. He said, if you better than her, if you ain't never did no adultery, if you never stole nothing, if you never committed any crimes or lied on anybody or said anything out your mouth that was crazy about anybody else, cast the first stone. If you ain't did none of that stuff, you righteous, you not righteous, cast the first stone. But here's the problem. Nobody could cast that first stone because they had to think about their own sins. He made them think about their own sins, their own things they've been doing in the dark that hasn't come to light. And when they thought about it like that, they all left. And the only person who was standing there at the end was that lady. And he said to her, now go. Go back home and sin no more. He forgave her, but told her to go back home and sin no more. He didn't say continue to do what she was doing. He didn't say it was okay. No. He said sin no more. That was a command to her. Did she do it? That's a good question. We don't know. What I do know is he gave her a chance at life. Because that's what salvation is. That's what his name meant. That's what Jesus means. That's what Yeshua means. It means salvation, God's salvation. Okay, God is salvation. And therefore, that's what God does. He gives you salvation. A lot of people don't understand that, you know? And this is why we have the problem we have today, because everybody wants something for nothing. A lot of people think that they're going to make it to heaven just because they're a good person. But that's the only requirement to make it to heaven. That you didn't break the commandments only. But you know what? There's a lot of Pharisees that didn't break the commandments too. Okay? There was a lot of other people from other groups or nations that didn't break the commandments either. Does that mean they're just going to heaven? No. Following the law only is one thing. But living righteously is another. Trying to be a better person, trying to live in a better way is the key. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect. But are you trying? Are you trying to be a better person? So this is James chapter 4, verse 11. I'll read it one more time. Do not speak evil of one another, brethren. He who speaks evil of a brother and judges his brother speaks evil of the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver. There's one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. Who are you to judge another? Okay? So don't judge another person. You know? Don't speak evil about another person either, of your brothers and sisters. Okay? So speak positive, speak good. If you do that, then I'm pretty sure good things will come to you. Okay? All right. Well, with that being said, that concludes the Bible study today. You know, and just to go over that a little bit more, we had the topics of, let's go here again, look at the topics real quick. Okay, the story was about the spirit of truth versus the dangers of gossip. Okay, truth versus gossip, and the topics of discussion for the spirit of truth were the verses were Exodus 20, chapter 20, verse 16, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22, Colossians chapter 3, verse 9, and Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. And the dangers of gossip, we talked about Proverbs 16, verse 28, Proverbs also, chapter 20, verse 19, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29, and James, the book of James, chapter 4, verse 11. Okay? All right. So that's what we're talking about today. Okay? So that is concluding the Bible study for the Bible study. Yeah. My name is KingCzol. Okay. I'm here at Chef RICs, but it's also KingCzol as well. And yeah, we're gonna talk about today Bible study. We having Bible study today. So if you come back every Saturday, around between 12 and 8, yeah, come out and check it out. I appreciate you guys for coming. Also, if you're on Facebook or Zoom as well, we're on Facebook and Zoom as well. We're also yeah, TikTok, so, and also other platforms as well, YouTube and yeah, Twitch, you name it. So every Saturday on the Sabbath from 12 to 8 p.m. During that time, we have Bible study. So if you come and check it out. I appreciate y'all for coming out. God bless y'all. Good night.